And the next thing is, okay, so we are going to write our Flask first API and first. So first thing is I want to create the actors. First thing is I want to create actors. Going to remove everything. I'm going to keep, I am going to use request for taking the form data. Okay, and that's it. I'm going to use the same thing. Create actor is my API and it does support only post. It doesn't support get. We are strictly saying it will only support post. Or else let me just take it as actor. Okay. If it is a get, I will render actor listing page. Okay. If it is get actors.html, if it is post, I should, here is where I have to create. Here is where I have to create. I have to read the data, validate if it is valid, and then I have to go create. And then I have to go create. Right. First, let us go build our HTML now. Actors. Right. Okay, so how should our HTML look like? What are the different things that we wanted to take? What are the different things that we want to take?
Movie.
Actors, right? We are going to create actors. What were the different columns that we discussed?
Name.
Right. So what does that mean? We have to create a form, right? We have to create a form. I'm going to create one thing called h1 and call it as add actor, right? And then what is that we wanted? We want to create a form. We want to create a form. So how does a form look like? It's a form tag. And I'm going to call this with some ID. I'm going to name it as actor form. Right. Once the form is clicked, obviously we have to submit this data, right? Somewhere, right? Method we are going to say post and action I'm going to say slash actor. That's it. So I'm done with creation of the form. Now I have to add all the details. I have to add all the details. What are the details that I want to add here? Label. Okay. Actor name. Actor first name. This I am going to create one more thing, so which is the input tag. Right, the input tag. I'm going to take type is equal to text. ID is equal to actor name. And I will use name. I will use the same as ID. And I'm saying this field is required. This field is required, right? And who is this label for? This label is for actor name, right? So this is the first name. In the same way, I'm going to take the last name. Right, so one is for first name, another one is for last name. Then I want to take one for gender. What else?
Age, sir.
Right, so age means I want to take a date of birth. So one is for a date of birth. I'll just paste that many. So type here, I'm going to say date, and type here it is going to be okay. We'll tell that actor. I'm going to say first name, actor, first name, actor, first name. Okay, actor, last name, actor. I'm just creating the form to create actor last name. Once that is done, so what we want is to take the gender, right? Okay, I'm going to take this is going to be a select, not a input tag. Select, and this is going to be gender, gender, and select. Always if I open, I have to close the select, and within that I have to write my options. Okay, so option value is equal to M for male, and I'm going to repeat this. This if, and the other one I will just say O other. All right, so the data. Then we are taking actor for date of birth, and this one I'm going to write DOB, so it's a date, and the ID is DOB, and the name is also DOB. Okay, so these are the details that we wanted to take, right? So let me just cross check the schema once. First name, last name, industry. Okay, so another thing that I want to take is industry. Okay, create actor.html. I will copy this and paste this again. Industry, right? I'm going to take this for select. There won't be any type, right? There won't be any type for select. And then TFI, Telugu Film Industry, TFI, TFI, right? Bollywood, wood, wood, Bollywood, and so I mean you can add as many as you want, right? So these are the things, and after that, okay. So let us try to render this HTML first. See if that data is correct, working correct. So. And if it is a get, I am going to render create actor.html. Create actors, create actor.html, not actors. Okay, done. So let me run this application. Right. So it is running. Let us go to the browser. Localhost 5000. So we have not defined any base route. So what I'm going to say is create stash. This is the API that we have defined. Create actor, or what is the API? Just actor. Okay. So what is the first name? What is the last name? You can select male, female, or other. Then you can select the, okay, this is the industry. Then you can select the date of birth. Then you can select the, sorry, yeah. So basically the date object. From here you can select the date of birth. Yep. So to put it in a proper order, I'm just going to add certain break tags here. So it can come not in one line, but multiple lines, and I have missed adding a submit button. Required, I will say this also I want it to be. Required, and then this BR. Okay, and I want to add one more thing, which is button. And I'm going to say type is equal to submit and submit. Right, save, and let's go back to the browser. Let me reload this. Okay, now they're all coming next to each other. Yeah, so the simple HTML, right? So there is no complexity in it. But if you try to submit, right, it will say like, it will control, okay, this data is required. This data is required. Okay. So this is going to submit this data, and we now have to start storing this data which is submitted from the UI in the database. So first part, so there are three parts, right? Now there is a front end and back end. So then the front end, the HTML is done. Now the back end should support with the API, right? And back end, after supporting the API, it should start storing the data in the database. Okay, are we good so far?
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes,
from the
sir.
So
form, I know it, that is submitting in the form, and whatever is being submitted, right? So it is basically these names, this name. So it will come with the same key. Okay, it will come with the same key, actor, industry, and so on. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to capture all of this data. So first is first name, and it is called actor first name. Then you have last name, and we are calling it as actor last name. Then we have gender, gender. Then you have industry. So what you have is basically industry. And then lastly, date of birth. What you have is actor DOB, right? And that's it. So let me just try to print this information. First name, last name, gender, industry, and then lastly you have date of birth. Okay, so I'm just going to print this, and I'm going to, from here, I'm going to redirect it back to the login page, not login page, sorry, the create actor page. That way. So for redirection, there is a function called redirect in the Flask, right? From Flask import redirect. So I have to tell where to redirect it to, right? So I'm going to say, after once it is done, return redirect and back to actor, back to actor. So this will again send it back to the actor page. Okay. So now let us try filling out some name, right? So main Telugu film industry. So I'm going to select a year, for example. I don't know which year it belongs to. Maybe I'll just go back. Say, let's say 1975, whatever January, I don't know, but I'm just going to take this date roughly, right, and try to submit it. Okay, let me just go back and okay. So it had thrown certain error. I don't know. So it tried to throw certain error. Let me just okay. So it is throwing error. Can activate cancel documentation for the testing. Okay, so what does it say? What is the error? Line 4 request form username. Oh, so this is gone. So this should not be here. Okay, let me save it. That was some unexpected thing. Okay, so I'm trying to reload it. Okay, active last name, bad request. Sent a request that server could not understand. So I'm trying to actor last name. Is it first name? Actor last name. It is saying like, this data is basically bad request. I did not get this data at all. Okay, let us see what is basically sent here. Right. Let me try reloading this. I'm now going to select whatever is there here. So for date also, like, for now, I'll just check some random dates, right? And you can check what is being submitted here. Okay. The moment you say submit, it is going to submit this data to the backend. Now here, see, now backend is not able to handle, right? So it is saying 500 internal server error. Now let us see what is the payload that was sent. Actor first name. Oh, okay. Then last name we don't have, right? It just says actor name. So let's update the HTML to have it as a last name itself. Right. So this name field says actor name. Right. We want to say it as actor last name. Then actor gender, actor industry, then we have actor DOB. Right. So this is correct. Let me go back to the HTML. Let me reload it. Okay, let me try submitting again. Let us see if it captures the right values. So whatever, right? So I'm just going to clear and submit. Let us see. Okay, so now backend received the data and it also redirected. Okay, that is the reason. So redirection status is 302. If you see here, it got redirected. Okay, now let us see in the backend, did we print those values? And are we getting here? Nagarjuna. So this is the values that we had sent from the front end, right?
Yes, sir.
Now this is our date. This is the date that we are getting to 2023-9 in this format. Now we have to fix this format also to store it in the DB. Okay, well, so in the backend, I am able to retrieve this data. Now all I have to do is like, I know that this is the data. Okay, this is the data format I'm getting, right? Now I should create this data. I should create this data into the DB. So in order to create the DB data into the DB, what do I need first? I need a connection object, right? Here only I'll just write loading. Right, I'm just try to get this guy here. Okay. I'm going to create a new Python file. Right, so this is my connection done. And using this, I'm going to get the connection. So MovieDB and all of that is present here in the app. What I'm going to say is I have to import this first. From dbcon import pgcon, right? Now connection is equal to get DB connection. This is going to give me the DB connection, right? I'm going to use this, or like, whenever there is a use, I'm going to use it. For now, I can create a connection object. Yes, right. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my connection object here. Okay. Cur is equal to cursor object I have created. Now in between, now I have to write my SQL query. Right. Insert into actors, values, right? Done. Okay. What are the column names? Let me just go get the column names from here for the actors. First name, last name, industry, gender, and DOB, right? And ID is going to be auto created. First name, last name, gender, industry, and date of birth. Right, date of birth is the date I'm expecting, date object. So I have to convert this. How do I convert a string to date object? We have seen this. How do we convert? If this is my string, if I have to convert this to a datetime object, right? What is the right string? But yeah, if not, well, tomorrow we will go through the datetime module and then we'll continue further with this. For now, I'm going to convert this incoming string to a datetime module. To a date object. So basically, okay, where is my Python console? I'll just quickly try this out. That is how we got, right? What's that? We got it as 0, 1. So this is correct actually, MM. So So y NN month. One moment. That think it is strp. Why it's all small? Why I don't know. Okay. Yeah, small y. Okay, so if I have to do this percentage y, percentage m, percentage d. Okay, so this is correct. Sorry, my bad. Give the right datetime object. And get a datetime object here. So I'm going to take it as POB, and that's it. The values. Or else forget the data module for now. Let me just try. Okay, let me just keep it and comment it for now. Okay, then the values. Okay, so first thing what I want is first name. Then what we want okay, so then I want first name, last name, then we want a gender, then we want industry, then in the last we want okay, so done. This is my SQL. I have my cursor dot execute. I'm going to give my SQL, whatever that we have written, and then close. And after that, connection dot commit and cursor dot close. Close. Done. So let's try this. Now let us try to insert this data and validate if this is being inserted. So whatever some random data I'm picking and I'm saying submit. Okay. So there is an undefined column. Nagarjuna doesn't exist. Why is it taking that as a column name? insert into actors, and these are my column names, and values is this. Why does it have a problem with this? Psych error, undefined column none does not exist. So because somehow it is taking that as a column. Why? Values, this is the first value. And then we are closing it here, right? So what is wrong with this? Okay, let me just change the quotation marks. Let me put a single quotation around it. Do not make a difference, but I'm just trying. Because I'm clearly saying this is the values, right? Do you see any issue with this insert statement? Or,
Correct only, sir.
right, so let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. So let me make it simple. So while passing, let me use uh, the execute functions approach. Why should I frame an SQL? Let me just say question mark, comma, question mark, comma, question mark, comma, question mark. So whatever is the how many parameters here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm adding 4 question marks. So this is my SQL. Okay. And when I say execute SQL, I'm going to pass this as a tuple as a parameter to this. So it will resolve its parameters. It will replace the parameters. So I don't have to worry. First name, last name, it will replace that in the strings. Gender, industry, and DOB. Right. So this should be straightforward. Right. Yeah. So let us go back to the browser and reload this. So I'm just going to select today's date only. For now, let's try to insert this values question mark. It is not taking Y. What is problem with the insertion here? Insert into the table followed by the column names, and everything has the comma, right? And followed by values. I'm giving 5 question marks, and I'm telling this guides to fill it in. Why is he having a problem? Right. That's an object only, right? Yeah. Object. And this is my SQL, and then these are the parameters. Let me just check the execute statement once. So it does take the arguments. I can pass in the values. Select, and then I don't have to do this. Can just say question mark or And then data has this and data has this. So percentages are okay, fine. I'll try percentages. Question mark also should work, but anyways, instead of this, all our strings, I'm just going to say instead of question mark, I'm going to replace it with percentages. Okay, all right, let us try this. Let us run. Okay, reloading, done. Let us try reloading this. Okay, seems like it is executed properly. Now let's go check in the pgadmin. Let me go to PSQL tool, or maybe go to query tool. Let it connect. Select star from actors. Select star from actors. Let us see if it is okay. Did you get the data into the database?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me try
Yes, sir.
another guy. So you can select whatever date you want to. Later you can use it, and I'm going to submit. Integrity connection already closed. Why the connection is already closed, but I'm going to reopen the connection, right? So what is the problem? Okay. And for now, what I'm going to do every time it gets only one connection object. So I'm going to modify my DB connection object so that it is, since it is giving the same connection object, right? I'm going to modify the subit so that it is giving the same connection object. And it is closed already. I should not close the connection if that is the case. Okay, or else let that be. If not connection, then here, or how do you check whether a connection is closed or not? That's fun. Let it be. We can check this later to modify, to update. I am going to return. Okay, done. Right. So let us go back, run the same query again. Did we get the data?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So whatever, and I'm going to just give select today itself as the date and then submit, right? And it has created, it has done successful. Let me go back to this and just run this, right? Are we getting this data inserted into the DB?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right? So the first step of this mini project is done, right? Which is at least the 50% of the task is done. We created a project, we installed all the required required libraries, and then we created our first HTML, which is to create an actor, and then we created one API to create an actor and to get the HTML page. And in the create actor, we were able to get the PG connection, and using the PG connection, we were able to insert whatever is the data that has been sent from the front end and insert it to the DB. Okay, so this much we have done today. We'll continue with further next thing tomorrow. Right. So